Hello, America. Welcome to Common Sense. I'm Wendy Bell. We are watching something remarkable and disturbing be unleashed on many college campuses. The triggered activist gloves are off, and anti-Semitism ugly head is raised. But it is the depth of the hatred, the pervasiveness of this bully class that captures our attention today. And we're not the only ones seeing it either. A donor class of rich leftist billionaires, many of them Jewish, is pushing back. And those dollars that fund multi-billion-dollar university endowments are going to take a seismic hit. Consider this headline. Harvard faces threat of donation withdrawal from over 1,600 Jewish alumni. It seems the too little, too late train has left the station. Woo-woo, and its departure is going to hurt big time. Question is, will it snap these woke administrators out of their trance? Well, let's check out our guests today. Ari Hoffman hosts The Ari Hoffman Show on Talk Radio 570 AM KVI in Seattle. Melanie Collette hosts Money Talk with Melanie for 98.7 The Coast, New Jersey. And Barack Lurie hosts The Barack Lurie Show on AM 870 The Answer, I should say, out of Los Angeles, California. I'll get it out, Barack. Hey, you know what? Let's start with Ari, you. The Harvard College Jewish Alumni Association wrote in an open letter to President Claudine Gay, "We never thought that at Harvard College we would have to argue the point that terrorism against civilians demands immediate and unequivocal condemnation. We never thought we would have to argue for recognition of our own humanity." This goes deeper than the dollars, Ari. This is something deeply personal, an awakening that is going on.
Absolutely. I actually think it's a little late because this has been going on for the last 20 years. But hey, to quote John McClane, welcome to the party, pals. It's perfectly fine with me. I mean, this thing is so pervasive. It's in the curriculum. It's in the curriculum kids are being taught in grade school. It's in the curriculum kids are being taught in high school. Of course, it's in the curriculums on college campuses. And the truth is, this is really nothing new. This has been around since the radicals of the 1960s. Just the left has found a way to mobilize it more. You saw this disturbing trend coming out on TikTok this week of kids thinking Osama bin Laden in his letter to America was right. And that's one of the most horrifying things. So essentially what you're talking about is bin Laden's vision is alive and well in our educational systems and now in our children, because that's what the public schools have been teaching them.
It's terrifying. And Melanie, Harvard President Claudine Gay, she's been largely impotent in her response to the pro-Hamas demonstrations and the threats that Jewish students have been facing. She says the school has, quote, started the process of examining how anti-Semitism manifests within our community. Now, this sounds like Kamala's root problems BS. I mean, is this sufficient? Of course not.
Of course it's not sufficient. I mean, listen, as a Black woman, it is absolutely stunning to me that Black people are now the safest race in America, and that Jewish people are, being outwardly discriminated against and in danger, and no one sees a problem with that. And quite frankly, particularly, the head of Howard, who's also a Black woman, you would think that she would have a bit more empathy in this situation. And I thought that we had laws against this. I thought that there were all kinds of laws against, persecuting people for their religion, for their race, for any of those things. I thought that that was a protected class. And the fact that she, who is a successful Black woman, cannot find a space to empathize with Jewish students, that is stunning to me. She finds no parallels in her own life between her and Jewish students. I just, it's stunning, the hypocrisy, the lack of intellectual integrity in an establishment like that. I don't get it.
Right on. It's inexcusable. And Barack, MIT, they had to handle some really ugly behavior on their campus. Administrators made moves to suspend or kick out the pro-terrorism students who were creating havoc until those students complained that discipline could cause their visas to be revoked. And so the freaking school caved. They caved. MIT is protecting students who violated the terms of their visas, Barack.
Yeah, well, as my people say, that's quite a lot of chutzpah right there. I mean, if they don't want to be deported, then perhaps don't support terrorism and anti-American attitudes. Exactly the reason why you came here is because of the greatness of America. By the way, I wanted to share with Ari and Melanie, and my thanks to them and to you, Wendy, for this very important topic. I am not only Jewish, but also Israeli. I was actually born in Ashkelon, the town that was attacked, and Hebrew was my first language. So this means a lot to me. It's very painful to hear it. To Melanie's point, I think she raised a very good one, which is that this Harvard president is now pretending, oh my lordy, lordy, there's anti-Semitism going on. Let's find out about it. Tell me more. But she had no problem saying that racism against blacks and other minorities is endemic and systemic and such like that. The rates are raised to that. But when it comes to anti-Semitism, when it's right in their face, then suddenly they have to explore it, submit an exploratory committee. Very disturbing.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Ari, yes or no? The pro-Palestine faction is the latest iteration of Black Lives Matter, right? BLM got called out. Patrisse Cullors was exposed as a fraud. People stopped giving. So the We Support Hamas crowd, picks up the baton? Or, am I wrong?
I'm going to say yes and no. The reason is yes is because that's exactly what they are. The reason I'm going to say no is they're not pro-Palestine, they're pro-Hamas. They're pro-terrorist organization. And it's very, very clear to distinguish between those two. And that's something we have to do. Now, in Seattle, when I go to these rallies for Hamas, when I see these things, I'm seeing the exact same people I saw in 2020 inside the autonomous zone. I'm seeing the exact same people I saw marching with BLM and rioting in our city, plus the pro-Hamas activists. That's what we're seeing right now. So they're using the same talking points. They're using the same methods. They're using the same ideology. In a lot of cases, is a lot of the same funding as well. A lot of these groups were marching with BLM back then, including a lot of these anti-Israel activist groups, and including a lot of these people who say that they're Jewish. But as Barack knows as well as I do, I can say I ate a fajita one time. It doesn't make me Hispanic.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, like the Jewish Voices for Peace, which is funded by Soros. And Melanie, this is nuts. The Palestinian flag is going to fly over the North Andover, Massachusetts town common for a month, because an Israeli flag did for a month after Hamas's savage assault on Israel in October. The town manager says Supreme Court ruling precludes her from prohibiting any flag from being flown based on its content. With that logic, why not just throw up the Nazi flag or the Confederate flag?
I was about to say, I don't think they would feel that way about the Confederate flag. So it's BS. Let's just call it for what it is. That's absolute foolishness. And the fact that they think that people don't have enough brain power to recognize how foolish this is and how inaccurate she is about the Constitution. And the fact that I don't know, even if I'll give you an opinion that maybe the U.S. doesn't handle things 100% awesome all the time. I'll give you that. But how do you say, okay, that's the case, so also the solution to that is to go and murder 1,600 people? The solution to that is to fly an airplane into the World Trade Center. That's the solution? That's how you handle that? And you're going to support that? What is wrong with you?
I agree with you 100%. All right, guys, hang tight.